Okay, we're back again today talking about food sensitivities. We're going to talk about food intolerance that does not involve the immune system. The majority of toxic responses of food or to food is a result of food intolerance rather than food allergy. And that's an important distinction. A food intolerance response is defined as any reproducible toxic response to food that does not involve the immune system. Food intolerance response can occur for many different reasons. A food can contain a molecule that your body has difficulty breaking down or digesting, causing an intolerance response as that molecule is allowed to continue down your gastrointestinal tract. Lactose intolerance is an example of this type of toxic food response. Food intolerances can also be caused by food additives like sulfates, which are added to processed foods to extend their shelf life. And there are many types of food intolerance. The most common intolerances are to lactose, tyrosine, preservatives and additives, and gluten. The most common food intolerance is lactose intolerance, and you've probably heard of that before. Lactose intolerance affects up to 10% of adults, and I believe it's probably much higher than that, and is associated with symptoms of flatulence, which is gas, abdominal distension, which is bloating, diarrhea after consuming cow's milk. Now, remember, cow's milk contains a sugar called lactose. Lactose requires the enzyme lactase for its digestion. People with lactose intolerance produce very little or no lactase in their intestines and therefore are capable of or not capable of digesting or capable of digesting only a small amount of the lactose that's found in cow's milk. This leaves undigested lactose to travel through the digestive tract to the colon, where it's fermented by the bacteria in the lower intestines, producing the gas, the pain, and the bloating which is associated with lactose intolerance. I can't imagine how many people are suffering from lactose intolerance. Really, they're suffering regularly the symptoms of gas and bloating, not putting the pieces together, realizing that they have a lactose intolerance. It's causing tremendous distress throughout the country. But lactose intolerance does not involve the immune system, as we just described, and therefore is not considered a food allergy. However, food intolerances can also be the source of considerable physical discomfort, and there are several ways to help alleviate the symptoms of lactose intolerance. Now, avoiding milk and milk products is probably the number one, the smartest way to deal with this. You can support the system, the immune system, or the digestive system with healthy lower gastrointestinal tract flora, which helps remove lactose from the system. Select milk products like yogurt, which are more easily digested and may not produce the symptoms of lactose intolerance because it contains lactobacillus bacteria, which removes some of the available lactose. Now, also remember that the majority of yogurt produced out there is just filled with sugar and is probably not very good for you to begin with. So there may be other things you can do. My mom used to make her own yogurt, which is very cool, and it's not all that hard to do. So that's something you could do too. Lactase enzyme in supplement form is also available to help digest lactose. When added to a cup of milk, cow's milk, it can help break down most of its lactose. However, it's less effective when taken with an entire meal. Before we leave that subject, also, I drank tons and tons of milk as a kid, and I loved it, and even well into adulthood. I really thought gas and bloating was just part of life. It just, I guess, subtly over the years crept up on me. And now I drink almond milk, and I enjoy almond milk. There are several kinds of almond milk you can drink. And I don't necessarily drink a glass of almond milk, but I can use it for cereal, and I can use it to replace areas where I would put milk. You can put it in your coffee. There's also coconut milk. Some people don't like the taste of coconut, others do. So there are choices for you. And then there is rice milk, and rice milk is a viable option as well. There's soy milk, but I don't really like the idea of consuming that much soy. That's a personal choice. Now let's move on. Tyramine. Reactions to tyramine, which is an amino acid-like molecule, or phenylalanine, another amino acid-like molecule, can result from eating foods like fermented cheese, sausage, chocolate, sour cream, red wine, avocados, beer, raspberry, yeast, and pickled herring. And probably pickled herring is not on the top of your list, but symptoms of tyramine intolerance can include urticaria, which are hives, angioedema, which is localized swelling due to fluid retention, migraines, wheezing, and even asthma. In fact, some research suggests that as many as 20% of migraines, and possibly more, are caused by food intolerance or allergy to tyramine intolerance. It's one of the most common of these toxic food responses. Now, tyramines are derived from amino acids called tyrosine. After long-term periods, some of the tyrosine amino acids in foods like aged cheese or meats will naturally be converted by bacteria into tyramines. This same process can also occur in your intestinal tract if digestion is slow, allowing bacteria the time to convert tyrosine into tyramine. Sorry, I got a tickle in my throat. For this reason, tyramine-sensitive individuals should take steps to support their digestive system, as well as reduce foods containing preformed tyramine in their meal plan. Although the reason tyramine causes food toxicity or toxic responses like migraine headaches are not clearly understood, research suggests that some people suffering from migraines may not adequately neutralize tyramine. While normally neutralized through the detoxification process in the intestines and the liver before it's absorbed into the body, tyramine-sensitive individuals are believed to have an increased amount of unneutralized tyramine that gets absorbed into circulation to the brain, where it may interfere with normal brain functions, causing the pain that is experienced as a migraine. Foods that help support the detoxification of tyramine include such sulfur-containing foods like onions, Brussels sprouts, garlic, and broccoli. Now, on our next segment, we're going to talk about responses to food preservatives and additives, as well as gluten, which is all the rage. Gluten-sensitive individuals seem to be everywhere. So if you will, we'll get back to you on our next segment and talk a little bit more about that. Thank you so much. Thanks for your attention and your time. God bless, and have a great day.